Hi guys, welcome to today's episode with Crypto Krishna. Today I'll be talking about Zilliqa, a high throughput blockchain. I'll be discussing about Zilliqa scalability, security, its consensus algorithm, its smart contract layer, its team, its competitors, its roadmap, and finally some interesting facts of Zilliqa. Let's look at the problem first. Scalability is a big issue in blockchain industry. Scalability is increasing the speed at which a transaction moves through a blockchain network. So the consensus protocols that we have today require each node participating in the network has to validate each transaction sequentially. So as the number of transactions increases, need for additional nodes to process and store those transactions also increase. So as the number of nodes on the network increase, the data for each transaction has to travel a lot more, and this causes internode latency, making the network very slow. Thereby, the scalability reduces as the network increases. So the scalability is inversely proportional to the number of nodes. Now let's look at the existing blockchains and their number of transactions per second. Consider Bitcoin, it has 7 transactions per second, Ethereum with 15 transactions per second, Neo has 1000 plus transactions per second, A-Chain has 1000 plus transactions per second, and Visa has 2000 to 5000 transactions per second. There are many other blockchains that are promising more number of transactions in the market right now, but none of them are giving us the security, scalability, and decentralization as expected. Now let's see how Zilliqa solves the issue. It is the first project which solves the scalability problem through sharding called transaction sharding. For other blockchains, scalability reduces as the network increases, but in case of Zilliqa, it increases as the number of nodes in the network increases. So in case of Zilliqa, scalability is directly proportional to the number of nodes. So what exactly is sharding? Is it a new concept? No, sharding is not something new that came with blockchain. It's been around for a long time, mostly with databases. So it's a simple way to store data across multiple machines. So if we go in detail, it is a process of splitting a network of nodes into parallel chains called shards, where each shard processes a small portion of all transactions along with other shards, resulting in a micro block from each shard. So these micro blocks are then merged into one complete block that is added to the blockchain. So what is network sharding? Each shard consists of at least 600 nodes. Each shard independently processes transactions and it will yield high throughput. It basically follows a divide and conquer mechanism. So the network is divided into groups called shards, and each shard will run the consensus protocol. Is Zilliqa secure? Proof of work for mining identities. So what is proof of work? Proof of work is a way that all miners who want to participate in the transaction by solving a complex problem. It provides security but also involves a lot of computing power and huge expenditures. So who are using proof of work? Bitcoin already uses proof of work. So are we going to use the same proof of work for Zilliqa? For consensus? No. So Zilliqa uses proof of work scheme just as to prevent Sybil attacks and establish mining identities. So every new node who wishes to join the Zilliqa network has to perform a proof of work. It just serves as an entry ticket to the network. What is Zilliqa's consensus algorithm? Zilliqa uses practical Byzantine fault tolerance as the consensus algorithm. So pBFT is employed in each shard. Each node in the shard must independently verify all transactions, and the results are shared between all nodes with a consensus reached by the majority. So why did Zilliqa choose practical Byzantine fault tolerance? What are its advantages? Transaction finality, low energy footprint, low reward variance. Because of the finality, the entire transaction history does not have to be saved on the blockchain. It just saves only the latest state. What is Zilliqa Smart Contract Layer? So Zilliqa uses Scylla, a new language, to develop smart contracts. So do we need to learn a new language here? Let's see the challenge first that we are facing with the present languages. So the big challenge we are facing now is security issues with the current smart contracts. To address this, Zilliqa came up with a new smart contract language called Scylla. Scylla will allow developers to easily develop smart contract applications that are safe, secure, and scalable. The beauty of Scylla is that it will allow anyone to convert existing Solidity applications over to Scylla easily. So any existing dApps that are developed on Ethereum blockchain can be easily converted to Scylla now. The first version release of Scylla is going to be done on May 23rd of 2018. Let's look at the team of Zilliqa. Does it have an all-star team? Zilliqa has a solid team prominent in blockchain industry. The CEO, Xinshu Dong, he is a PhD from the National University of Singapore and has prior experience building blockchains at Ancon Capital. Coming to Pratik Saxena, he is a chief scientific advisor. He has a PhD in computer science from University of California, Berkeley, and he is ranked 4 in the top 10 innovators under 35. And then the head of the technology is Yoki Jia. He has a PhD from the National University of Singapore and his research work published in top international conferences such as CCS, Usenix Security. And the head of research is Amrit Kumar. Now coming to the advisors, we have Ivan Cheng. He's the engineering director at Facebook and he received the ACM Software System Award at Apple. And another advisor is Loi Lu. He is the co-founder of Kyber Network, a decentralized exchange. Does Zilliqa have competitors? Comparing Zilliqa's testnet with the prominent blockchains that we have in the market today. So Zilliqa is 500 times faster than Bitcoin. It is 250 times higher than Ethereum. And in comparison with Neo uses delegated Byzantine fault tolerance consensus mechanism that requires a set of nodes to run consensus on behalf of the entire network. It is trying to scale by reducing the decentralization and security. As of now, it achieves 1000 plus transactions per second, and even then it is less than Zilliqa. Coming to EOS uses delegated proof of stake consensus protocol, where a subset of 21 nodes called block producers are used to produce blocks. Although this fixes scalability, but not at the cost of decentralization and security. Zilliqa is the only scalable blockchain which uses proof of work for mining identities and pBFT as consensus mechanism without sacrificing decentralization and security. Now let's look at Zilliqa's roadmap. Zilliqa released testnet version 1.0 named as Red Prawn in Q1. Recent results seen in these experiments connected daily on the testnet are 2488 transactions per second with 6 shards, that is 3600 nodes. In Q2, that is on May 23rd, they are going to release smart contract language called Scylla, on which existing Solidity apps can be converted into Scylla and run on Zilliqa. Smart contract technology experts Dr. Ilya Sergey and Ivan Cheng have joined Zilliqa as advisors to help in development of Scylla. The testnet version 2.0 is scheduled to be released in Q2 and the mainnet is scheduled to be released in Q3. And after that, the dApps can be developed after the mainnet launch. Now I'll be talking about some of the interesting facts of Zilliqa. So Zilliqa is the second Singapore-based blockchain to break through $1 billion barrier after QTUM. Insurance market launches Immediate, a new ecosystem for blockchain insurance in collaboration with Zilliqa, FWD and Deloitte. Neo invested in Zilliqa, so that's a big plus to Zilliqa. And Zilliqa is one of the few projects that was very less volatile even in bear markets. Future editions of Zilliqa will be state sharding and sidechain support. So as I already mentioned that as of now Zilliqa supports only network sharding, so state sharding would be something that Zilliqa would add on in the future. Zilliqa partnered with BlueZell, a decentralized database, so that each node can store data during the transaction sharding. So this is very much helpful for the smart contracts that are being built on Zilliqa. So my final take on Zilliqa is it has decentralization, security, scalability. So it achieves scalability by using sharding, that is transactions per second is directly proportional to the number of shards. And it has decentralization because the nodes are distributed and a node can join a shard by doing some proof of work. And it achieves security by using proof of work for mining identities and by using practical Byzantine fault tolerance as consensus mechanism. So the present blockchains have two of the above features, compromising the third, but Zilliqa is the only blockchain which has all the three features. If you guys like this video, please like it and share it. And for more videos on blockchain technologies, you might consider subscribing to my channel Crypto Krishna. Thank you guys.